Hello everyone, my name is Aimee O'Malley and I am the Learning and Development Business Partner for Google Enterprise in Europe. And that essentially means that I work with our senior executives to help them develop the strategies or the training programs or the coaching or the mentoring or whatever it is that we need to create to help our guys get better. And so I want to take you through, start here with something called Google Geist. And Helen kind of mentioned this a bit earlier this morning. But Google Geist is our employee engagement survey. So it goes out once a year to everyone in the company, and it asks them questions and feedback on everything. So their compensation, do they like their benefits? How about their manager? Do they agree with the mission of the company? Do they like the direction we're going? Everything. And we get about 92% response rate. So 92% of the company fills that survey out and gives us the feedback. And that's really high. And to be transparent, we were not always that high. We were getting 30, 40%. People weren't really caring or filling it out. And I think that there's three things that really drive home why we get the feedback from the employees that we get. The first is just some basic best practices. We send this out from everyone. So your VP's VP will send you an email about it, and it will trickle down. It's kicked off by Larry Page. We'll send a company-wide email to everyone. We do some competitive events. Like one of the VPs said, if my organization fills 90% or more, fill it out, I will dye my hair in the Google colors. He has to do that now. Challenge accepted. And things like that. So just some common best practices you'll see. The second thing I think that really helps is that we share this data completely transparently. And Helen said this earlier, when we get these results back, there's some amazing highlights and there's some growth points, we'll call them. And we put it all out there. There's no editing, nothing's out there. So if we're doing poorly in an area, the whole company sees that. And that's a real motivator for people to fill out this feedback form. And the third reason is, I think, because we take action on it. So once we get these results back, do we actually do anything about it? And we even have a question on the survey that says, I believe Google uses this data to make changes. And 85% of the company in our last round said, yes, we think that. And I'm here to attest we really do actually take and make changes. That's a big part of my job is I get these results back at the end of the year. And I sit down with the people operations team and we go over it, like what's working, what's not working, what do we need to change, what programs, and things like that. So what I want to do is kind of just talk you through an actual case study of what we did last year when we got these results back, what they said, and how we kind of addressed them. So last year we got it back for enterprise, and I sat down and we were looking it over, and career development was very low scoring for us, which was shocking to the executives. They were like, it's Google, it's high growth, we're expanding, we're hiring, it's tech, like it's a great place to be right now. Why do people feel like it's not, that they don't have the career development opportunities they need? But the data doesn't lie. That's what we found. So we dug a little bit deeper, and we saw a big part of it was we have all these tremendous resources, but people didn't know they existed. There's just too much. It's all over the place. And so we decided to address this. We were going to create a program called Optimize Your Career. So this is the very scrappy website. So I was given kind of permission to do this as an experiment. So I built this website on Google Sites, and I almost know HTML. I can bold things, and that's about it. But I was able to put this up on Google Sites. I got an intern to design this logo of a ninja because we knew the importance of branding and making it stick. And then we launched the program, and we decided to launch it with a big kickoff event called Optimize Your Career Week. And this was going to be a week with panels and workshops and networking events and keynote speakers and happy hours, just something to generate some buzz, bring the community together, let them know these resources existed, and that it was okay for them to talk about their career openly. So in order to do this, we went to our HR team and we said, who are some great people in the business, because we want this to be organic and viral, and we need some support from the business. And we got 12 different global champions from all over the globe and all of our different offices and functions to help us out. And they were kind of our eyes and ears and hands on the ground. And that was really important because we were running this in 60 different offices, like globally. We have people all over. So for us, we ran the full program, the whole kit and caboodle in our major hub offices. So for us in APAC, that's Tokyo, Sydney, and Singapore. Here in EMEA, it's Dublin and London. And then in the Americas, it's Mountain View. But we also have a sizable population in some of our other offices. Not thousands and thousands of people, but enough that we didn't want to leave them out. And when we looked at the data, we saw that in particular in these smaller offices, that's where they were really feeling a lot of the pain around career development. They felt that not being in the home office was really a disadvantage for them. And they were missing these opportunities by not bumping into people at the water coolers. So we made sure in Austin, Zurich, Paris, Sao Paulo, New York, and Reston that we had someone on the ground, and we did 1 or 2 live events for them as well. And what was also key was we did everything over Hangouts. So that meant if we had our VP of Sales in North America doing a keynote address to our team in Mountain View, our team in Sydney was watching it right alongside them. They were able to ask questions, interact, and see that same type of stuff. In fact, we even did a hangout with Amit Singh, he's the president of Enterprise, and we said only if you're in an office with 50 people or fewer, we're going to have a special invite-only hangout where you guys can come and talk to Amit Singh one-to-one and get back some of that time that you feel like you're missing. Now, this was very difficult to manage, I will say. So how did we do it? Well, we did it all using Google Docs. And I was basically, at the time, I was in California project managing this, and I had people in Sydney, Singapore, all over the globe. And so we did roles and responsibilities on Google Docs. People could come, sign out for what they were doing. It's always open, always collaborative, so I could see at any moment in time. All of our status updates and calendars and everything we ran on Google spreadsheets. We did weekly Hangout status calls, which was also key to let the team get to know each other because they were all working on the same thing, but just in different offices. And when I was in London, it's 11 hours difference with Sydney, and it was 6 a.m. meetings. And I can't tell you how nice it was to be able to do these calls from my computer, just pop it open, my personal computer at home, do a hangout with Sydney, and I didn't have to come to the office to do that. And Google Forms, we wanted to get feedback on how this was working, and so we sent out Google Forms. Now, Google Geist is amazing, but it's once a year study. It's run by the central teams, very IT heavy, and we wanted kind of these snapshot in times, like, was that panel helpful? Are you getting anything out of this week? And so with Google Forms, we were able to send out these very targeted feedback requests to each of the offices. Our Tokyo office did everything in Japanese, so they sent their form in Japanese. And this is really simple. I just sent this to the guys, and they were able to send it and get it out. And then I was taking pictures and saying, this is amazing, it's going great, and I wanted to send it to everyone. Look at all this great career stuff happening, and they were like, don't spam them, they will hate you. And so Google Plus was actually kind of the perfect solution for this. We created a Google Plus community called Optimize Your Career, and that's where we're able to post all of the photos and the videos and the quotes and the snapshots and everything, and anyone could put their experience here, and you could see that as it developed throughout the week. So to give you kind of the wrap-up there, we just got the Google Geist results back from this year, so measuring last year's impact, and we saw a 12% year-on-year gain increase in the career development theme. So something worked, and we're actually moving into the second phase now. It's coming out of beta and going into the second annual Optimize Your Career program, which is going to kick off in June this year.